So I don't know about you, but I've had one crazy week. But I'm trying to stay positive and focus on these silver linings. And one great thing we still have is YouTube. It's a great place for all of us to still communicate, still exchange ideas, and to learn something new, which is always awesome. So this week is part 2 of the video that we started last week on sweaters, and I'm going to go through how to create cable number 2, and I'm also going to show you how to create that novelty knit fabric texture. Let's tackle the cable first. Because it's a little more challenging, I'm going to open a picture of the cable, rotate and adjust it. And I like to dim the image by double-clicking the layer and choosing Dim Images To from the layer options. Then, lock the layer and create a new drawing layer. From here, I'm going to trace the knit stitches. And to simplify the brush, I'm just going to use thicker and thinner strokes. Starting with the heavier gauge stitches, the thicker strokes, I'll trace one and then adjust as needed with my direct selection and smooth tools. Then, I'll drag a copy of that line to create another row of stitches and again adjust as needed. And as I drag copies of the lines, I need to add on to the ends to extend the lines to touch the next set of stitches. Once I'm done with the heavier gauge, I'll do the same thing with the smaller gauge, the thinner stitches. And this time, to get the other 4 rows of stitches, I'm going to use the blend tool. Choose the blend tool, and then click on the first stroke and the last stroke. Then double-click the blend tool to open the blend tool options. Change the spacing to specified steps and type 4 so that I have a total of 6 strokes. Next, I'm going to go to Object, Expand to change the lines in the blend to individual lines, and then use the scissors tool to cut the excess overlapping pieces of the strokes. Now before you get into creating the actual repeat, take some time to finesse and edit the curved lines so that they look smooth and so that they touch each other. You might have a few places where you'll have to play with the direction handles to make the lines look like they're touching. Once you've made your adjustments, drag a copy of the strokes and line them up edge to edge. Then, using the direct selection tool and the scissors tools again, adjust the ends of the knit stitches so that they touch. Sometimes, I'll even change to a round cap so that the alignment of the ends looks smoother. Now, select the 2 sets of knit stitches that you copied and drag it back to the opposite side. Either hide and then delete the old stitches, or as I've done here, hold the Shift key and make a selection box around all the stitches. This will deselect the stitches you just copied and reselect the old ones. Now, you can hit the delete key to get rid of the old stitches. Once you've deleted the old set of stitches, go in with your direct selection tool and scissors if you need them, and adjust so that the lines meet, look smooth, and don't overlap. Now you're ready to create the repeat. Bring up the rulers and find a point on any of the 2 sets of strokes that you can easily find the same spot on the next set of strokes. I usually use a point on one and then find the exact same point on the next set of strokes. From the rulers, drag a guideline to each point so it's really easy to find the repeat. Next, make a clipping mask of the area by creating a box as tall as the art and from edge to edge of the guides. Then select the box and all of your artwork, right mouse click and choose Make Clipping Mask. Then make a definition box, and I usually just copy and paste the box I use for the clipping mask, send it to the back, select all of the objects and drag them into the brushes panel. Test your brush by drawing a line and applying the brush to the line. And like we mentioned in the last video, decrease the size of the brush by adjusting the stroke weight. I'm also going to change the colorization method on this brush to tints so that when I color the sketch later, I can easily change the color of the brush by changing the color of the stroke. Now, let's make the novelty knit texture. I'm starting with the picture for this one as well, and as I usually like to do, I want to find a simple shape that best represents this texture, and I think a slightly rounded rectangle will do the trick. Using the rounded rectangle tool, or the live corners if you're using the regular rectangle tool, draw your shape. Then, I'm going to drag copies to create a repeat. Create a definition box to define the repeat, which I'm going to make the centers of the outer rectangles. Take off any color if necessary and send it to the back. Then, like you did with the brush, select all the motifs with the black arrow and drag it into the swatches panel. There are 2 more jersey knit stitches on this sweater, which I'm just going to create with straight lines and make into brushes. I'm going to add the brushes to my sketch and adjust the stroke weight so the cables look proportional to the size of the sweater. I'll next add the knit texture. For the sleeve, I can just fill the shape and make sure there are 2 sleeve shapes there so we can fill one with the texture and later one with the color of the sweater. And for the sweater body, I'm going to draw shapes with a textured fill but no stroke. Then I'm going to take the sleeve, cuff, body textures, and cables and reflect them to the opposite side. And then finally, I'll mask the cables into the body of the sweater. And this time I use the shortcut, Command or Control 7. I'm going to do some final tweaking before I color this. On a fully fashioned sweater like this one, you normally don't see true seams except in specific places like the armhole, side seams, shoulder seams. So I'm going to remove the black outlines around the bottom hem, the cuffs, and the neckband. And remember when I told you to pull a copy of the outline off to the side? Now you can drag it back to outline the entire sketch. To add color, I'm going to select any objects that I may have filled with white, or any extra objects sitting behind a texture, like the extra objects behind the sleeves and the cuffs. For the cables, if you've set the colorization method, you can change the stroke color. And what I've done to make it blend even more with the color of the body is to make the brushes and texture a shade of gray and change the blending mode to multiply. This will make them a darker tone of the body color. And if it's a little too dark, just lighten the opacity. This works best with shades of gray, so when you create your rib texture and even the outline around cable number 1, you may want to make those a shade of gray instead of black so that it'll blend better. As you can see, that's not how I created mine, so some areas blend better than others. But overall, I'm still happy with the finished sketch. I told you it was a lot, but I really like how it turned out. And the cable brushes, the pattern swatches, the novelty knit texture, and the rib texture, you can save all of those in your CC libraries and use them over and over again, which is great. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time.